Hello and welcome to part one of Winter Garden, a brand new series, and I'm excited to get this thing started. I've been looking at this reference for a while and I just really love it because it's my first garden that I had here on my property. I'm in garden number 2 now, which is under construction. But I'm bringing up a point, and that is you might have favorite places, and those are nice things to paint. If you have something that really gathers you, it's special to you and so forth, you might think twice about painting that, even if it's in your backyard. But we talked about composition today, how to lay that out, make a quick sketch in your sketchbook, and then start working with shapes and value colors. Went through that step by step. And that's what we'll do in this. And we covered this whole 13 by 18 canvas in 30 minutes. So we were moving quite fast here today. All right, get outside and paint. Paint with your friends. Get critiques, and don't be intimidated by a white canvas. All right, let's start painting. Bye-bye. Hey, welcome to another 3-part series. This one's titled Winter Garden. I really love this composition. It's subtle, it's got a lot of softness to it, it's got some warms, but then it's kind of introducing, October snows or November snows here in my garden. This is garden number 1, and now I'm redesigning it to number 2. But anyway, enough of that. I worked on a sketch, so feel free to do that. And put me on pause and work yourself on a little sketch. So that's mine. And what it's doing is getting my brain, clicking on where things should be in this canvas. So I'm going to put my sketch aside, and with that knowledge in mind, what I'm going to do is figure out where my baseline is going to be and build up from there and down. So, composition. Time for composition. So let's go with some blue and gray. Blue and gray. Okay, enough of that. And it looks like I'm just using an old worn out, 2 or 3. May have been a long at one time, now it's a short. Somewhere in there. And I know this tree base is going to be a little bit to the right of center. Maybe in here, that area. And then it's going to have some... This is a box elder in my backyard. And I'm just lightly, not heavy, figuring out where these limbs are going to be. I'm going to go heavy down here, that's about it. But let's figure out some more. And even more. This is a magnificent tree. Box elder trees are kind of like junky trees, but I just love them. They're so gnarly. They have bumps all over them. And I'm just really privileged to have one of these guys in my backyard. Now over here I'm going to have some sort of it was a tree that was taken out and then it came back from its stump, 40 years ago. And now it's really going crazy. And then I think I basically have foliage clear up to maybe up in here. Somewhere in there. And then I have these nice worms in a few places down here, and the nice subtle warm colors up in this lower section. So I think now, just for caution's sake, I need to figure out where the garden's going to be. And it really maybe starts in here and goes to here and across. And we'll have a stake here. They seem to run into the fence, or at least they're pretty high. Maybe not quite that high. And maybe and there's a gate here. Gate's open. And then I have got garden boxes. So let's put one like right here, and here, and here, and they go back like that. And I'll just get the first guys in. Whew. There you go. Getting back. Okay, I'm glad I made this go this far. I'm going to put this out a little farther, and then there's another guy out here. I think it's a sprinkler head or something. Then I have other ones, other verticals here, which are sprinklers. You know, I have also a nice dark running across here. This guy is so important. And he goes out to about here. I have a steel fence out there. The previous owner was a mobile welder, and he sure put a magnificent fence out there. It would stop a buffalo herd, let me tell you, or a tank. And I think that gives me enough idea to start. So if you're going to make any changes, make them now. Like with drawing is too much, too little, too far to the left, too far to the right. So just pause and take a look at your drawing, make sure you're in the right place. Okay. Don't think I have him in the middle. No. Good. So I have this blue out here. Let me see if I can gray him down with a darker gray. I'm going to add just a touch of transparent oxide brown. And it still says blue, but it has a more ominous, darker tone to it. I'm going to add a touch of viridian to it and a touch of alizarin, which makes it a little bit more gray, a little bit more transparent oxide brown. I'm going to go a little bit more red, a little bit more viridian. And now we have some nice, subtle, darker stuff. Okay. I'm going to continue with this scrubbing brush just for a little while to get some feeling of, sorry to make all this scraping noise, just trying to get some feeling of where these branches are, and probably some leaves that are still hanging onto the tree. When it's backlit, you can't really quite make it out too well. I don't want to make it all dark. I want some sky holes coming through. So here I'm just trying to fill in my tree. Get a feeling of where it's going to be. And what you see with this small brush, it doesn't lay on a lot of paint. I want to try to keep it thin. I'm going to Add a little bit more viridian to this mixture. Just like that. A little bit more viridian. I think there's some guys that go out down here in various places. It's pretty solid down here with the way of vegetation. And that's going to give me enough to probably get a good idea of where to get this guy going. This is the block-in stage, so we want to make sure where our shapes are going to be and then come in with some sort of value color. I'm trying to figure out where else to use this. I think I can make it darker and get the fence area in. I'm changing brushes now. I clean this little guy out. I know he's a worn out little fella, but he still is useful at this stage of the painting for blocking. It's really good. So let's go transparent oxide, brown, blue, ultra blue, alizarin, viridian. Alrighty. Getting some more darks in here. And I think this continues on over here. And then there's kind of a dark line that goes right in there. And I might as well use some of these darks that I have left and use it up. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm using a number 6 Rosemary 2025. It's kind of a hog hair stiffy thing. Might be good to do some more of these boxes, at least on one row. And maybe try this one also. I think they go farther back right into the dark, so I will make them go farther back. And another one right in here. Of course, I'm running out of product. What a surprise. Just trying to get some value in there and get some sense of the layout. Okay. Oh, blue, red, brown. I'm going to use some of this. I need some forming here. I don't very often paint on the end of my brush unless I'm doing a fence post or something. But you see me use the side of the brush quite a bit because there's a lot of paint there. And let me see where we're at. You know, I know you probably are wondering, this guy sure gets back a heck of a lot. But what it does for me, it really grounds me in making the right decisions on what to do next. Is what I put down okay? Do I need to do more stuff? So far so good. All right, I think with this we can still use this pile we have. And let's go with some, we're going to go with some alizarin, some viridian, which is green, and transparent oxide brown. Just getting the brush cleaned out just a little bit, and now I'm going into the mixture, going back into these areas that are nice and brown. Viridian, transparent oxide red. Viridian, viridian. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, he's running into the tree, yeah, I know that. It's not exactly paint by numbers. You kind of have to go off the reservation a little bit to stay loose. There we go. And now what I want to do is change course and get some warmer stuff down below. So I better clean this up just a little bit and get some yellow ochre. Yellow ochre, Naples, Hansa, yellow deep. Oh, that is a pretty color. Very fall color. And now I still have some contamination in this brush which will influence the color. But hey, it's blocking. Go easy on yourself. So this is doing some good, see? And we're going to put some of that in various places down here. Enough of that. Let me check my time. How are we doing? Oh, 13 minutes left. I'm cleaning quickly here. All right, time to move this stuff off to the side in one big messy pile and see what it is. If there's anything left, it's very, very thin. And it's not enough to save, so I just picked it up with my razor blade knife and got rid of it. Alrighty, so now let's start thinking about this foreground color. But I think the thing I want to do first is I don't like the size of that garden. So let's wipe it out. It's been bothering me. So let's take this out and move it over to the left. So I added a little Gansol to my paper towel, and that's how I wipe that out. And voila. So let's go back, and I'm going to go back to making the design again. So I pulled out a number 4 Rosemary 279. It's long. So I got blue, I got black. Black, I got blue, I got brown, brown, transparent oxide brown, and blue. And let's move this over to, so let's get this over to here, the back guy. And let's get the foreground guy here. I'm going to accent it a little bit more. Maybe here, maybe not, maybe here. Okay, so then we're going to have another, so he'll end about here, and then we'll have gate, and then we have stabilizing guys here and here. So it's more about the garden now. Okay, so let's get a garden box in. Starts here, and then we have another guy here, and then we have another fella basically here. And that's how we'll sort our boxes. So we will go way out to the end here. And maybe, oh, I forgot, I have my, these are, I've got a number of compost boxes back here. That's what this dark is. And now we'll bring this to here, and here, 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 and here, and here. Whew. Now it's more about the garden. And we can figure out where to go now from all this. And we'll divide the boxes up in here. Okay. Oh boy, okay, now that I got that done, checking my time, I still have 9 minutes. Now we can get down here to get that snow color, but finally, talk about more fence, and I think I have another outlier here, sprinklers. Okay, that's so good. I better clean this brush up and let's get into the next phase, which is, I think what we need is some sort of cerulean, cobalt blue and white. And make this whole kind of pinky blue down here. So let's make a mixture of just a touch of red, cerulean, a little bit of red, and white. Maybe threw too much white in there. Let's go back with some cobalt. Cerulean. And I think that's looking pretty good. Let me see if it's too dark. Darn it, it's too dark. Go back to white. Touch of red. Red. A little bit more. White. White. Oh, it's a lot of mixing in this business, isn't there? All right, I'm going to go back to my number 6279. Try to get some of that nasty old greeny dark color out of it. And let's mix. Put a little damn salt in it. Loosen it up. And that's what we're looking for. Going to take some time to fill this in, but I'm going to keep an eye on time, and you may have to I may have to fill this in off camera so it doesn't take up so much time doing this repetitive stroking stuff here. And I think there's some ceruleum up in here too. Maybe a little. Well, you get the idea of what's going on down here, okay? And then the hard part's going to be getting some snow inside the boxes. So don't worry, we might have to redo them later. This is a raised bed garden. It's a little sloppy, but you kind of get the idea. Hey, we're loose painters, right? Doesn't hurt to be, you know. It's not paint by numbers. Go outside the line. The first time I ever thought I had an inkling, that I had a clue about art was coloring books, and my mother complimented me on it. And surprisingly, it was because I stayed within the lines. Marcia Abelson, my neighbor, she was always scribbling all over the place, you know. So I was pretty young, you know, preschool. And that's how I think, hey, this art thing's kind of got me here. That was my very first time that I got some sort of compliment on something I did that I remember, at least. I'm sure my mom gave me lots of compliments. All right, so we want to lighten this up here a little bit. And let's go up above. So I just added some white to this mixture. And I think we're going to be able to block this thing in pretty good. These soft brushes are really good for this block and stuff. And one of my painting friends, Mary, said, oh, you know, those brushes are so bad, they always flare out and they go bad quick. And I said, well, all you have to do is goop them up with more paint and they stick together. And they have a very long life. But look, I use the, you know, I'm rough on them. I mean, I'm using the side of, I'm not painting from the end. Painting with the side of them. So the big event today is going to Boulder and having my teardrop trailer going for its little checkup. It has a leak in the sky roof, which is under warranty, thank goodness. And I love this skylight because when I sleep I can look outside. But I started out, of course, you know, humping all this stuff, my equipment out in the woods, and then I got llamas. This was 25 years ago. And they carried all my stuff. And then as they got geriatric and got old, I went out and bought a trailer, an 18-foot trailer, but that didn't go back very far. I had that for 7 years, and now I'm just down to, I traded that in for the teardrop, which is very good. It's an off-road teardrop, and that's where you get all these neat references. I'm always pulling these things out of my hat. And now let's go back with and soften these edges, okay? So I've got something really wide and soft, and we'll see what this can do. So at the same time, I'm picking up all the excess too, and keeping it thin. And it's also a good way to cover up all your little white spots that are still there. Just have to go a little lighter. And now clean it again because I've got those worms in there to get down into the snow area in the bottom. So I'm cleaning it as best I can. I think because I've got so much titanium in here, which is gooey and sticky, I'm going to first pick it up with my knife, see, and that gets rid of a lot of it. And you can see it still. You have a lot of the original stuff coming through. That's about all you want. And now I'll come through and soften that too. So yeah, I get a little bit of contamination in there. Oh, that's my timer. But hey, you did all that in 30 minutes? You can too. All right, I better finish this thing up and I'll see you in part 2. Thanks for coming by.